That would be perfect. Yeah, we can.
Good morning, Briella.
Good morning.
We will try and be there as soon as we possibly can. Of course, thank you so much. You're perfect.
How was your time off?
I would love to talk to you about how great it was, but after reading over this new case, there's not much time for small talk.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing we can't handle.
How could this have happened to such an amazing guy?
And such a great friend. This is gonna be tough, but we just have to remember we have to keep our emotions out of it. Stay professional.
I know. We've done cases like this before. Don't you remember? Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah, that was hard. But it was so much more rewarding finding the son of a bitch that caused his death. After all he'd done for us, it was the least we could have done for him.
Yeah, the same goes for this case.
I just can't believe it happened. Mr. Medina was one of the greatest teachers in the school. The way he made everyone feel so special, and the way he was so nice and welcoming to everyone, I just can't wrap my head around the idea that he's gone. Dead.
Yeah, well, there's nothing we can do about it now except for catch the asshole that's responsible.
Well, so far we have no leads.
What about the ex-wife? Or maybe a friendship that went bad?
We could check friendships and see if we can find out more about his personal life, but as far as his ex-wife goes, she already has a solid alibi.
This is gonna be so weird.
What is?
Zooming through all of his old stuff, his personal life, I mean, he was our teacher. It's just gonna be awkward. I mean, we do owe it to him, I guess.
Bree, it's our job.
I know. Let's just get started. Read me over the basics again.
He was found on Main Street of the high school. The morning janitor crew found him.
And it couldn't have been any of them?
No, his body was found to be dead at around 2:30 a.m.
They all have an alibi?
Yeah, a solid
Perfect.
alibi.
Huh?
He was stabbed in the abdomen.
Really, let's go find this killer. It made me sick to my stomach.
Well, where do you suggest we start?
Let's go take a look at the crime scene and then figure out the possibilities of who would have had the motive to have done this. And we also need to see who's even capable for it. Let's profile this killer. We should be able to catch them. Also, we need to get the autopsy reports. Find the murder weapon. We have a lot to do, so let's not waste any more time. We've got a killer to lock up. Let's hurry up and collect some clues, figure out what happened here.
Hey, come over here. Look at the blood splatter.
It seems as though the trajectory of it was like a blow to the face. Maybe a punch? I don't know, the killer and the victim could have been fighting.
But why?
Maybe it started as an unintentional argument. Things got a little heated.
Yeah, things definitely got a little heated. One of them is dead.
That still doesn't explain why he had a knife on him. It's a school.
Well, what do you think they were fighting about in the first place?
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask some friends and family who would want to pick a fight with him. Maybe that'll give us some ideas on who to bring in.
Yeah, let's go. get on that.
Hang on, Agent. First, we need to collect the evidence here. Want to get some blood samples? I'll go get my camera.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you. This place is an actual disaster.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of work to get done if we want to figure out what happened that night.
Let me just start off by saying I'm so sorry for your loss.
Well, I just still can't believe anybody would do something like this.
I know it's awful. I don't understand how anyone could be so cruel.
We were just as shocked as you when we found out.
Well, have you found out anything new?
He, are you sure you want to know?
Yeah.
We believe that him and the killer were fighting. There were signs of struggle and defense, but it ended up with him getting stabbed in the lower abdomen.
But we don't know the reason behind it.
That's just the evidence that the crime scene showed and also the autopsy reports. We won't know the whole truth until we catch the killer.
I do remember him telling me that him and his neighbor and him have been getting into some arguments. I don't know what about them.
That's good information to know. Anyone else you think that could be responsible?
Well, he was talking about how him and a good friend have been not on the best of terms lately. But it couldn't have been him. They were way too close.
We just need to investigate every possibility.
Who is this good friend?
Henry Doglins?
You mean his coworker, Mr. Doglins?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time here today. If you need anything else or can think of anything that would be helpful, just here. Just give me a call.
Sure.
What were you doing the night of December 13th?
I was at home watching TV.
Sir, you can go home as soon as we figure out what happened that night.
Well, I didn't do anything to Medina.
I don't think you understand what's going on here. Your neighbor has been murdered. And the way we see it, you two didn't exactly see eye to eye.
Well, we may not have been the best of buds, but our arguments were never extreme enough to the point where I would do anything to hurt him, let alone murder.
I'm confused as to why I'm sitting here right now. John was a good friend of mine. I would never, ever do anything to hurt him.
We just need to ask you a few questions about that night.
I was at home sleeping.
And do you have anything to verify that? Maybe a neighbor that saw you or someone that can justify that's where you were?
No, but I can assure you I was at home sleeping.
Henry, we found your prints at the scene.
Well, I work at the school. I mean, doesn't it make sense that my prints would be all over the place?
And your blood. My guess is you and Mr. Medina weren't the best of buds you guys portrayed yourselves to be.
You don't know how it feels to always be compared to that guy. He's such a jackass. He's so fake.
And that was enough reason to kill him?
It wasn't supposed to end like that.
It was after school, and we were discussing things about school, and he just kept making remarks on how much better he was. And it got, well, rather heated. We started pushing each other around. One thing led to the next, and we were throwing punches. I honestly didn't even know what I was mad about anymore. I was just pissed. And after he knocked me down, he called me weak and not good enough. That's when enough was enough.
And then I pulled out a knife and I stabbed him.
And now you're going to prison. Ask yourself, was it worth it?
Your neighbor has been murdered.
Murdered!
Your prints at the scene.
Well, okay, we gotta go.
Action.
I know it's craziness.